Hello and welcome to This Week with Ajaz Ul Haque. It is Sunday, January the 15th, 2023. In this vlog, the main topics we will cover is the Shahbaz government in danger of falling? Imran Khan dissolves Punjab Assembly and the KPK Assembly is next. There are local body elections taking place in Karachi today. There are floods are ravaging California, and New Zealand won the one-day international series in Pakistan. Shahbaz government had planned fall of Punjab government, where majority party Imran Khan's party and the coalition partners PMLQ, and they forced a vote of confidence on the government, and they were certain that they will not be able to get the vote of confidence. But the coalition did get the numbers, and they got the vote of confidence, and immediately after Imran Khan dissolved the Punjab Assembly, and then now the KPK Assembly will be dissolved. So this was a massive defeat for the ruling PDM in centre, who thought that they'll be able to outdo Imran Khan, but in fact they've been outdone in this whole game. And it now seems the pressure is on Shahbaz Sharif, because Imran now plans to start a campaign against the federal government in order to dissolve the federal government so that general election can be held throughout the country. The way it will be done is that Shahbaz Sharif has a very thin majority of 2 votes in the federal government, in the National Assembly, and if some of the coalition partners or others or their own party members opt out, then the government will fall. So the chances now are that a vote of confidence will be asked for from Shahbaz Sharif, and there are strong chances that this will not succeed, and as a result his government will fall. It is reported that 5 MNAs of the PMLN party have already approached PTI to obtain tickets for the next general election, i.e. they want to leave their party and join PTI. And if that is true, then the majority of 2 obviously will come crashing down, and Mr. Shahbaz Sharif will eat the dust that he was planning for Mr. Imran Khan. So in all this game, Imran Khan has proved to be a very experienced politician, whereas everybody thought he was naive and didn't know much about politics, but he has turned the game around. Let us see what happens. As far as Punjab Assembly is concerned, that's now been dissolved, and the governor has asked for nominations for the interim government, which is as required by the constitution, that for 90 days there will be an interim government, and during which time the elections will be held. So the elections will tentatively be held on April 12 or 14, although it would have been better to have the elections on April the 9th, which is a Sunday, as this being a month of Ramadan, people will be busy, and Sunday would be a better day for elections. Anyway, let's see what date comes up and which interim government comes up, because the interim government has to be appointed by the leader of opposition and the chief minister, and chances are they're not going to come to agreement on anything, and then the matter will be decided by the Election Commission of Pakistan, which heavily favors the PMLN. But anyway, the elections this year is the year of elections, as I had said in my last vlog, but it seems now that the elections are more imminent than they ever were. So chances are that the country may go through general elections in the whole country in the months of April and May. And at this point, Imran Khan's party, PTI, is heavily leading in all provinces and centre, and the chances are they will come back with a 2/3 majority, which would allow them to amend the constitution and repeal some of the laws that the current government has passed about accountability, to acquit themselves, and so the chances are all the cases for corruption will be back again in the courts, and then these people will have to answer for their actions and for the billions of rupees of money laundering that they've been allegedly involved in, and those cases which have now been filed away, but they're not gone forever. In this country, nothing is forever unless it's the last word, which is the Supreme Court. Now, local body elections are being held in Karachi and Hyderabad today. There's been a lot of machinations going on. The Pakistan People's Party, which rules the Sindh government, has played with the constituencies and redrawn the constituencies to suit their requirements. So in some ridings there are 80,000 voters, in other ridings there are 250,000 voters. So it makes no sense at all. And but the way these constituencies being redrawn is to benefit the Pakistan People's Party. And their coalition partners, MQM, have opposed that, and they wanted the boundaries to be redrawn. But they were both playing silly games, People's Party and MQM, wanting the election to be postponed and sometime not postponed. And in the end, MQM has boycotted the elections. But as a result, the voting turnout today is very thin, which is dangerous because it will allow the Pakistan People's Party to manipulate the results. If there's a large turnout, then it's very difficult to manipulate the results. But when there's a thin voter turnout, then possibility of manipulation is quite high. Already some officials were caught this morning stuffing the ballot boxes even before the polls open. So let's see what happens. I will not be surprised if People's Party gets more seats in the local bodies than they deserve or they are expected to win because of these machinations. Now, in the international news, California has been devastated by floods and rains. There are highways, coastal areas, and are devastated. And it seems that a lot of damage, several people have died, and the floods seem to continue wave after wave after wave. And this is the weather, the climate change pattern which Pakistan experienced earlier in the summer when Sindh, Balochistan, and parts of Punjab and KPK were flooded, and the world just watched how people suffered. And now it seems that this has come home to roost to the United States, which is one of the biggest polluters in the world, and which creates more pollution than any other country. It appears some confidential documents have been recovered from Joe Biden's house in Washington, and this is from the period when he was not in office. So the question is, will the FBI now treat Joe Biden the same way as it is treating Donald Trump when papers were discovered from his house? So will they charge him as well and for keeping these secret documents in his house? I guess the sitting president cannot be charged, but they can always charge him once he's no longer president. But if the law is to be served, then both parties should be treated equally. Ukraine, the bloodshed continues. There's a simple way of ending this war. The United States and Europe make a declaration that Ukraine will never be part of NATO, and that will end the war within a day or immediately. But neither US nor Europe are interested in ending this war. They keep supplying weapons to Ukraine to fight the Russians because they think they can bleed the Russians, but I think they're wrong. And also, Ukraine is being used by the West. Ukraine is being destroyed day by day, and I think the Ukrainians have to decide whether they want their country destroyed in this manner or do they want peace and come to an end. There's no point them joining NATO if this is what's going to happen to them, because then the Russian attack might be even more severe. However, as long as assurance is given to Russia that Ukraine will not be part of NATO, then that ends the problem. Cricket. The New Zealand cricket team has been on a tour of Pakistan, and they played 2 test matches and 3 one-day internationals. The 2 test matches were drawn, but the 3 one-day internationals, New Zealand won by 2-1. And very high quality cricket was played. All the matches were held in Karachi because of fog. These matches couldn't be held in Lahore or Multan. But unfortunately, the crowd turnout was a bit poor, but the quality of the game was excellent. Now, finally, the financial markets. S&P 500 closed up 2.26% this week at 3999. Nasdaq closed up 4% at 11,079. Dow Jones closed up 1.9% at 34,302. Shanghai Stock Exchange closed up 1% at 3195. Bombay Sensex closed down 0.45% at 6026, 60,261, sorry, and FTSE closed up 1.8% at 7844, and the Pakistan Stock Exchange closed down 1% at 40,323. It seems the danger of default may have disappeared for the time being. Pakistan was in a very critical position, but it seems some friends are willing to help. However, the current finance minister is at odds with the International Monetary Fund. So as a result, not much is happening with the IMF, and that it is critical because a great deal of money from the other multilateral bodies will only come through if the IMF deal is done. So it's a question of whether the Shahbaz government has enough time to do it, or will the interim government come in and deal with that. It has to be seen, but the default may have been deferred, at least for the time being. That's all for this week. Have a nice week, and please do subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon so that you get the latest updates, and do share the video with your friends and colleagues, and please do comment and let me know what you think of these issues that we have raised, and what are your views about it, and how you see things. And it'll be very interesting to get a feedback, and I will make an endeavor to respond to everyone. Thank you. Have a great weekend.